All right, YouTube, once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn sports. Go ahead and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Like the video. Also, let's go ahead and really get these subscriptions up. I really appreciate y'all. We're talking some really nice new subscribers here in the last few days. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle, at the heels of a almost 20-point victory for the Auburn Tigers. Bruce Pearl, actually with a new contract, and is not slowing down at all. You're talking about a huge win over Alabama. Alabama probably one of the most, I don't think they're probably one of the best unranked teams in the country. They're very talented. They're very diverse in how they like to do things. They shoot the ball in the backcourt very well. Well, the front court very well. But we have to attribute the fact that Bruce Pearl, with this team, is no mistake as to the result. This is the best team that Bruce Pearl has ever had up to this point from a record standpoint. He's never done this before. And I think this is a testament to his recruiting. I think this is a testament to how he has intensified this program, how he's taken this program to the next level from a basketball standpoint. Trips to the Final Four. He's putting guys in the NBA. This particular team, though, is particularly dangerous because there's no drop-off. There's no drop-off between the starters and the bench. You can't even tell the difference, really. As a matter of fact, a lot of folks don't know that Wendell Green actually comes off the bench. And he reminds me of how, as a basketball player in high school, I didn't play college ball because I have a lot of respect for college players, period. There's a lot of discipline. There's a lot that goes into being a student athlete at the collegiate level. And Vernon Speaks Sports was just not that guy. Had the ability, just didn't have the desire. But either way, in this interview with Bruce Pearl post-game Alabama, you're going to see why his teams are so successful. One, kind of like the great Nick Saban at Alabama, he has a lot of respect for his opponent. And you have to have respect for your opponent because it makes you prepare properly for that opponent. Every opponent that you play. You have to dissect their weaknesses, you have to dissect their strengths, and you have to determine, based on what you have in-house, how you're going to execute and put yourself in the best situation to be successful. Always like the interviews that Bruce Pearl has, and I want you guys to listen to this post-game interview from Bruce Pearl. Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. Always great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.
To out-rebound Alabama is significant because they fly around. You know, obviously, Shackelford and Quinerly are special players and extremely talented and handful. But I think it's the sum of our parts. Once again, Alabama made a nice run to start the second half. Our bench came in. It got several stops. Thought the zone was good and was effective change there in the second half. But literally, if you just go up and down the roster, I could talk 10 minutes about each guy, 9 different guys. And I just don't know that I've ever had a team where you could take any one of them tonight, any one of them, and I can tell you a story where that kid was the player of the game. So we're pleased with the win. I want to make one more comment too about the celebration. This game matters for both teams. It's a great rivalry. I have got tremendous respect for Nate and his program, and this game matters. It matters to our fans, but I think because there's so much respect between the players and the coaches, I told our guys, I said, if Alabama came in and beat us tonight, and they did whatever that crane thing is that we do, we started doing, I said, I wouldn't be upset by that. I would be disappointed they didn't do it. But that's kind of what a rivalry is all about. That's what it, and I'm glad the students and the student athletes are having fun with it. And it's a good win.
Coach, we're starting with a question from Justin Ferguson. Bruce, obviously Walker didn't get to play much in that first game because of foul trouble tonight. He has a crazy stat line on offense and defense. Just how big was his impact in this game and this rematch?
I mean, just take 8 blocks and 4 steals and 12 rebounds. I mean, and he almost had 10 fouls. I mean, you know, he had 4 fouls again. I mean, just unbelievable impact. I'm so proud of Walker. He's a tough kid. He's a tough kid, and you know, he was just grateful last year. You know, when we were up in Alabama, and Dylan Cardwell played so well when he got in foul trouble. But again, that's what our team is obviously all about. So, but you know, tonight he blocked 8. He changed 8. I mean, he was a major factor, you know, at the rim.
Caroline Grace.
Hey, Coach. So not only was this a win, it was a dominant win, and this game does matter, like you said. Can you just speak on how this is going to affect recruiting, especially within the state of Alabama?
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I don't mind saying this, I've never been able to beat Alabama recruiting in Alabama, and I give them all the credit. I mean, there are so many of those guys, that are on that roster that are Alabama kids that we recruited, and you know, it's tough to beat them in state. So, you know, Alabama's a great school and it's got a great athletic program, you know, top to bottom. So, I get it. But there are several great basketball programs in the state of Alabama. Alabama's one of them, and we're one of them. And UAB's having a great year. There are some other teams that have been competitive. So, anyways, it means so much because of the respect we have for how good they are. And they just bounced Baylor. They've beaten Gonzaga. They've beaten Houston. We just beat a team by 19 that beat those teams that are. All those teams could be in the Final Four. In fact, they beat 3 teams that were last year's Final Four, so it's a good win.
Caleb Jones.
Coach, you guys didn't only get to the line. You guys were also making free throw shots, making 31. Can you talk about how important that is to your game plan, and even Carter Sobro getting in on the action there to put the 100 on?
Well, I mean, obviously getting there's important. Look, the game was very physical, and both teams were fouling too much. And so that was, I think that was a factor and how we go. Look, Alabama gets to the rim. They drive it hard. And we got some guys that got to the rim too pretty hard tonight. And but the guys that went there, obviously Jabari and KD and Al and then your point guards, Wendell. So it was, it helps your offensive efficiency when you're making your free throws.
Bennett Durando.
Bruce, you talked the other day about how good Alabama is at shooting 2-pointers. You guys held them to 11 2-pointers in this game. Is this as well as you've seen your guys defend inside the arc?
I was somewhat disappointed with the fact that they were able to get through our defense a little bit too easily, but they're hard to stay in front of. But everybody worries about Alabama's 3-ball. I worry more about them getting to the rim. And I think that's where they beat you. But they're going to make. I mean, look, they've got some great guards, and those guys made big shots.
Next.
Coach, you mentioned 44 points off the bench. This is a team that goes pretty much 11, 12 deep. What is it like when you have guys like Wendell Green, who were struggling for a little bit, goes off for 23 off the bench, and we talked to them earlier, Walker, they have so much confidence in those guys now. What's it like having a bench like that, pretty much a second starting 5, when they come off the bench?
Yeah, we've always prided ourselves with our culture of our program, and that culture being, I've always played 9 or 10 guys double-digit minutes, And there are some people that, you know, think it's, well, you get the luxury because you got good players coming to the bench. Look, everybody else got guys on the bench, but they don't play them like we do and develop them like we do, I don't think. So, you know, that's what I think makes us a really good team.
I'm trying to get to a couple more versus Tom Green. And Bruce, kind of going off of that, I know you said after Saturday's game, you know, last year when Wendell was at Eastern Kentucky, he wasn't on, they would lose. But for him to bounce back and just kind of for you to have that luxury of him off the bench, how much of a luxury is that for you guys to kind of just have?
Yeah, and I know, thank you. I know you kind of followed up the last question because I lost my train of thought a little bit, but because I didn't really recall that Wendell, you know, didn't have a great game against Oklahoma, but I guess he didn't. And so, but he's played great against Alabama twice. I think it's because Quinerly and Shackelford are pretty good, and you want to be the best, you got to go up against the best. Those guys, I believe, we're both first or second team all conference in the preseason. I believe that's accurate. Somebody out there kind of nod at me if that's true. You know, none of our guards were first, second, third, fifth team. And so I think, you know, look, that matters to our players. So I think Wendell was excited about playing tonight.
Mark Murphy.
Yeah, Coach, talk about the way you guys played when the league got cut down to 2. It looked like you played some of your best basketball of the season there for about 6 or 7 minutes.
Well, we played the bench. The bench came in. Jalen Williams, Devin Cambridge, Wendell Green, Dylan Cardwell. Those guys came in and got like 6 to 8 stops in a row when Alabama got within 2. And that was the difference.
I'm going to close out with a question for Michael Gittens.
Coach, this was an Alabama team that shot 60% from the field versus Baylor. You guys were able to hold them to 35% tonight. After the second half, when they made a run, what were you guys able to identify and adjust to hold them to a low shooting percentage?
Well, I think we went zone. We couldn't keep them in front, and we were fouling them. We had 3 fouls in the first minute of the second half. That's not a great way to start the half.